And this month we are revisiting female fitness myths after a couple of interesting comments on my posts in the past couple of months. So, we are discussing the second part of the comment I quoted last week. So, I'll just read what I'm going to address out to you first. So, she finished what? Oh, well, that's not working. She finished her first comment saying, if it was harmful, medical practitioners wouldn't allow it, which is losing your period. If it was harmful, medical practitioners wouldn't allow it. She then went on to say, because I refuted this, sorry, I can't take on board what you're trying to promote. If it was unsafe, so you think medical practitioners, top Olympic coaches would allow this kind of thing to happen if it was due to health? And what about pregnancy, conceptions? I think she meant contraception, that stops your period. I say no more. Now, she didn't use any punctuation, so I hope that made sense to you. But I stand by my comments. I stand by them. And keep this in mind, I was an athlete in the Australian sailing team. Okay. I have both trained and coached at NSWIS, the New South Wales Institute of Sport, albeit only briefly. I have coached ex-Olympians, current Olympians, and girls who have gone on to become Olympians. Okay. I have first-hand experience in this field, and I'm telling you that Olympic coaches and doctors do know about relative energy deficit and about how that affects a woman's health and the dangers of irregular or losing one's period. But they may not really think about it, is kind of what I'm trying to say today. So, you know, education is lacking. Awareness is definitely lacking. Research is lacking, but there is enough research that we know it happens, and we think we know why it happens, and we know it's harmful for women's health. Okay, now I have proof that Olympic coaches and doctors and exercise scientists know about this. I'm going to read to you a paragraph. It is from 16, the Journal of Sports Medicine, and it says, relative energy deficiency syndrome, red S, was recognized by the International Olympic Committee in 2014 as an insufficient caloric intake and or excessive energy expenditure. So it's 9 years old, this recognition. This syndrome is characterized by low energy availability, sufficient for bodily functions involved in optimal athlete health performance. So basically saying when you're in this state, you do not have sufficient nutrients, energy, support to run bodily functions required for health. That sounds healthy. It is for this reason that the main etiological factor compromising health status is low energy availability, which results in long-term and potentially irreversible damage to athletes' health. So, doctors, Olympic coaches do know this exists, okay? They do know that there are long-term harmful health benefits. So if you go to a doctor after listening to this and you tell them about your missing periods and they recommend birth control, then you're at the wrong doctor. Run for the hills. Because the last part of what the bodybuilder coach mum's comment actually touches on, saying contraception is proof that losing your period is harmless, is actually untrue as well. Contraceptives carry their own risks. They're hormonal contraceptives, and varying degrees depending on which one you're on, they negatively impact bone mineral density. They increase the risk of thrombosis. They increase the prevalence and severity of mood disorders, including literally changing your brain, okay, forever, and your brain function. And they increase your risk of cardiovascular disease. And just while I'm here, they do decrease risk of other illnesses and injuries. So it's not all bad news, but it's news that you probably need to weigh up if you're going to take one or the other. And in the case of a woman who's lost her period through either overtraining or underfueling, taking the pill doesn't solve that problem. And whilst an athlete or someone going to the gym losing her period is usually underfueling or overtraining, it isn't always. Sometimes there's an underlying health condition. Taking the pill doesn't get to the bottom of that underlying health condition. It's just extra hormones. That's it. It doesn't actually change anything. Uh, and then you don't know if you're eating enough, and then you don't know if you're overtraining, and then you're still going to have the adverse health risks that could last forever. So if you want to avoid the harmful effects of losing your period, you have to get to the bottom of why you've lost it. Okay, so to be clear, losing your period is harmful. Those harms are permanent and they will affect your body forever after, even when your period has returned, to varying degrees, obviously, depending on how long it's been gone. Going on the pill is the same as maintaining the status quo, okay? You'll still be under fueling, overtraining, or you'll still be suffering another health condition such as PCOS. Doctors know this. Coaches, Olympic coaches know this, or should. Personal trainers watching this, you know this now, okay? There's no longer an excuse. Doctors and Olympic coaches do or should know that the contraceptive pill carries its own risk. There are practitioners out there that can help you if you're missing cycles, if you refuse to be dismissed. Okay, you refuse to allow it to be normal and you refuse to allow it to be okay. Okay, if you want to learn more, there's a great book by Dr. Nikki Key. It's called Hormones, Health, and Human Potential, and it's just a GP's perspective on the interplay between the environment, our minds, and our hormones in the male and the female body. And she mostly speaks in layman's. It's a great start. Okay, don't walk away from this rolling your eyes and dismissing me as making it up, because I'm not. So, in short, the idea that losing one's period is harmless is a myth. The idea that doctors wouldn't let it happen if it was harmful is also a myth. Doctors and coaches like you and I follow their interests when they're pursuing their continuing education, and not everyone is interested in women's health. Okay? I'm sorry if that's hard for you to hear, but it's the way it is. So if this brings up anything for you, I'm happy. I'm happy to have feedback and criticism, and I will address it like I have this one if I don't agree, which is not always bad either, right? We need to have these conversations. We need to build awareness. All right. If you're uncomfortable publicly commenting, then you can message me as well. So until next week, I hope you have a wonderful week. End.